You know something? Sorry, I don't know. Do you know something? I was on the train on my way home from work the other day, and it came to me. There's 9 people, 9 archetypes, if you will, or characteristics, whoever you want to call it. It's 9 types of people that really just grind my gears, and I thought about it so much. Thought about it so much that I had to make a list of these top people that just grinds my gear. Now, I made this list. They may or may not be in order. I've tried to put them in order because some people's like, you know what? This is something that just I don't get versus like, wow, like this is something that just really irks me. So I did try to put them in order from, I guess, they may grind 1 year or two to the point where they're just like welding down my gears because it's like, how dare you be this type of person? Anyway, let me get into it. Number 9, broke people that just somehow know how to get money. How is it that you have the formula to make $100,000 a month and yet I don't see it in your life? You're still on the bus, or just, let me generalize a little bit. People that have knowledge on things, but like it's not being applied to your life, or you may know about it, but not to the degree where you can actually apply it in your life. And let me just speak specifically on money. Like, people, you know, they have all the answers. And for some reason, like, especially within the last couple of years, people just suddenly became financial gurus. And yet, I don't see the fruits of their labor. Now, I get it. You know, we're in social media and, you know, a lot of people get on social media platforms and talk about these things. You don't know everything about everybody on social media. However, some people just is a little suspect when it comes to what it is that they teach and what it is that they let people know that they did. Because the things that they're saying versus what they're actually showing just doesn't add up. And for me, it kind of grinds my gears because I'm the type of person where it's like, you know, I like watching people that really get it out the mud. Like, I see people that actually get it out the mud in real time, in real life. And then you see people that just are like 6-figure gurus, and yet there's nothing to show for it whatsoever but a course. For example, here's the big one. The people that is in like stocks and forex and things like that. How is it that you have all this knowledge on how to make money in forex and all this, and only thing I see you produce is videos about how to do it? I don't actually see you, you know, actually doing live trading. I don't actually see you talk about wins, losses, mistakes you've made, any of that. Only thing I see you do is give knowledge on forex, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like when it comes to certain things, I need to see some social proof here. Like, if you're a real trader, if you're a real investor, you know, you ain't gotta put all your business out there, but try to give us something so we can see that it is possible and we don't actually think that everything you're saying is just a bunch of BS, okay? So yeah, that's that. Next up, mean church people. And this is something that I've seen just all my life, growing up, things like that. I always wonder, like, why people that go to church, specifically older people, why are they so mean? Like, even in the church, like, you got the ushers and things like that, they're just so mean and grouchy. And I just never understood that. Like, isn't church like a place of the Lord and you lift, you know, you uplift your spirit? It's supposed to be a place of happiness. But yet it seems like there are a lot of people that, you know, it's just really mean. It's just really just ugly. Like, it just have a bad, it just almost seems like they just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, they're almost mad that they have to go to this 6-hour, you know, church sermon, you know, and probably stay an extra 2 hours because, you know, they decide to volunteer to help clean up and things like that. But so mean? Especially outside of church. Like, why are you so grouchy? You will be the type to quote scriptures, but you'll do it grouchy. Lord said, expect wrath for a child. Yeah, but you ain't say do it like that. I don't get that. Why you so mean? Okay, anyway, to kind of correlate with that a little bit, old people that judge young people for being young. Listen here. No one asks the year, the time, or the era that they would be born into. So I don't get why older people get mad at younger people because they're young. How do I know that they're mad? Here are the hidden phrases. You a baby. Yeah, you don't know none about that. Well, what you know about this? Well, you can't say nothing about any of this. You too young to even, right? That right there is called subliminal judgment and subliminal hate. Because every time a young person has something to say, the older generation has to downplay it or criticize it or just make it seem like it's irrelevant. And I just never understood that. Why are you so angry? Now, I do have the answers to that, but that's a whole nother video. We can go deep down into that. But regardless of where it's coming from, why is it that people have to come down on younger people just because they're young? It's not their fault that, they are now in their 20s or 30s or whatever, and you've already seen that bit. Now, perhaps you feel some type of way because of the decisions that you made when you was that age, and now you feel like you have to be judgmental, but again, ain't nobody's fault that you did what you did, okay? So don't get mad at somebody because now they've reached this point in their life and they probably are trying to do better because they see what has happened in the last generation, you know what I'm saying? But that just really grinds me. That just really irks me, man. Like, cut it out, okay? Don't spend the rest of your time here trying to downplay the next generation. You're supposed to be uplifting us. You're supposed to be teaching us how to be better, okay? Don't get mad at us because our wrinkles ain't kicked in yet. It probably will soon, but I ain't gonna be like that when I get older, okay? Cut it out. Next up, bad kids. And I'll put in parentheses bad parents because it takes a bad parent to create a bad kid. A bad kid can't just become a bad kid on their own. But I just don't, it's just like, and let me just say this. I absolutely adore kids. I come from a big, large family. So I love kids. And they love me, trust and believe. But child, when you bring your snotty nose bad kid, the one that uses profanity and say all these things, that's something that I just can't deal with, okay? Because clearly, and the reason why I say it grinds my gears because when I see a bad kid, I'm talking about just ruthless. That just shows that there's an environment that they're in that is very toxic. And that just really irks me because we are at a point now where we should know that whatever you're doing around your kids, however you're living around your babies, is going to be picked up. Like, they're going to pick it up. So when you think it's cute that your baby curse, when you think it's cute that your baby just do these different things like that, and I get it. Sometimes kids can be rebellious. Trust me, I was definitely rebellious. But not the way that I see a lot of kids these days are. Like, they'll straight up curse me, a person out, like a grown person out. Like, bro, excuse me? Okay. And thank you for all these new laws that say you can't defend yourself, grown people, from these bad kids. Okay? Anyway, I don't like that, man. Parents, get your kids together, okay? Because that's another thing. Like, it's not just, it's not that it looks bad, but it's, it's reflecting on how their future is going to be. If you don't straighten this up and fly it right, hey, they're going to have a tough future, man. Because this world is definitely with it, if you feel what I'm saying. So, I don't like that, man. I don't like that. Get your kids together, for real. They are our future. Next one, dumb dictators. People that you have to constantly question. Who put you in this position? Like, how did you get in this position? And how is it that you, with the credentials you have and the sense that you have, or lack thereof, get into a position to tell other people what to do? And it's not that you're saying anything that can actually be beneficial to somebody. You're just giving orders. Is that your only skill set? Ability to dictate. Come on now. And then when you got the nerve to dictate and you got the nerve to tell people what to do, you don't really have any knowledge or anything to back it up. You're a dumb dictator. You're not a real leader. You're a dumb dictator. And that irks me because unfortunately there's a lot of people that we have to deal with just like that don't know what they're doing, but yet somehow we have to listen to what they say. And I guarantee you, let me just say this, unpopular opinion. If you recognize that there's somebody in your life that's a dumb dictator and you decide not to listen to them, you're not going to get any backlash. Because they're the type of people that will send you off and will set you up for failure, okay? Because you know they don't have any type of sense. And the people that put them in a position ain't have no type of sense either. So, yeah, that just irks me so much. Like, how did you get in here? Okay? How? How did your team know more about your position than you do? You know? Yeah. And to kind of correlate to that, leaders who use their power to manipulate, which goes into being a dumb dictator. Because again, if all you have is this authoritative position and you just use it to just spew orders or to finesse people or to manipulate them, then clearly that means you ain't got nothing else going for yourself. And that just irks me because again, it's like when there's certain people in positions, there's only so much people can do because people are just too afraid to come together to just tell people like, we're done with the shenanigans. Stop putting these incompetent, manipulative, narcissistic people in these positions because they're constantly going to be setting people up to fail. That's exactly why companies can't move forward. That's exactly why nations can't move forward. That's exactly why nothing moves forward because they put the wrong people in position. Dumb, stupid, manipulative, narcissistic people. Cut it out. All right? Next, parents that expect their children to take care of them. Now, hear me out. Shout out to the parents that take care of their babies and do what they have to do, right? But I believe that when a kid grows up and gets older, it should be their choice. They shouldn't feel obligated to take care of their parents. Should they maintain a relationship? Yes, especially if their parents took care of them, did what they had to do, raised them right, all that. Absolutely. Maintain a relationship, especially when you have parents that are loving, that care about you and things like that. But when it comes to a point where there are parents that pretty much expect their kids to stop their life and give them their life, that's the thing that I just don't get. Like, you can't just expect them to stop what they're doing and stop their family. Because I think somebody once said, like, technically, like, your actual family is the one that you start. Like, yes, you have parents, you have family that you come from, but the one you actually start, like your actual family, your actual children, that's your priority. Just like when your kids get older and they start their family, that's going to be their priority. Now again, maintain a relationship, a healthy relationship is important, and we have to support each other regardless of who we are. Parents have to support their kids, kids have to support their parents regardless of the fact. But we're not obligated to do anything, and there's a lot of people out there, and I'm going to get into it because I have personal situations pertaining to that we'll get into later, that, people feel that their kids owe them something because of a decision that they made. It's all a decision, baby. And when I asked to be here, I'm just saying. I mean, thank God we are, but let's not get it twisted. Everything is all by choice based upon circumstances. If you give love, then you receive love. You give respect, and you get respect. That's just how it works. Like, you're not going to sit here and practically do anything, and your child literally does for themselves and works their way up from the gutter and all the stuff that they was in, okay, to, now you got to return the favor. Like, no, I don't believe in it. I think that's a choice based upon how that relationship was, right? And it's not an obligation. It's not mandatory. What's mandatory is to provide the same energy that other people provided you. Simple as that. It works both ways. Okay? And here is the one that irks me, which is probably, this irks me so bad. Number one type of people that grinds my gears is people who use God, source, higher power, the idea of God, source, and higher power, anything in that realm for convenience. People who go to church just to say they go to church. People who read the Bible to say they read the Bible. People that, buy and play with crystals just to say they play with crystals. Or people that just play with tarot. Like, it's not just Christian things. It's like anything spiritual. People just say it as for like an aesthetic, right? Here's the thing when it comes to that, and I'm not going to get too deep into this. Again, a whole nother video. I don't get why people, feel like they can just choose to live that type of lifestyle. I guarantee you that a lot of us that is on the path that we in wasn't something that was necessarily we decided. Like, perhaps, if you've been in tune or if you've just been on that wavelength and you just have like this yearning for more and you just want to know more about, who God is, what God is, and, the right path for you in that capacity, that's cool. I feel like a lot of us has had that, like, wondering and those questions about that. But when people just decide, ooh, I'm going to go to church just to say I did it, or who just love to just quote the Bible and scripture and, I read the Bible 3 or 4 times. But again, not living the fruits, which goes into the whole broke people that just know how to make money. It's the same thing. It's like, and speaking of that, there's a scripture in the Bible that speaks on, people, say all these things and do all these things, but really you have to, like, where's your fruit? Like, what is it that you are producing to showcase and back up what it is that you're talking about? Because if you're just talking about these things, then that's just for convenience, just to make, you just want to, it's almost like another form of manipulation, or like making people think you're one way when you're not. And I came across a lot of people that do that. Like, you're not really walking, you ain't really about this. Because for the people that's actually on this path, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking to y'all. You know what it is. And there's people that wasn't called, that wasn't, we all get called to have a relationship with God, with Source, whatever it is that you believe in. But there's some people who just do it, just to say they do it, but they're not actually living that type of life. They like to quote things, they like to hop on bandwagons, but they're not actually walking. And the people that actually know what I'm talking about, that's actually experiencing this, you know what it is I'm talking about. And I can tell you one thing, it's beautiful, but it's a very difficult path to walk on. And a lot of people take advantage of that. A lot of people use that as an aesthetic. And I just don't like that. Because in a way, you're just playing with God, you're just playing with Source. And a lot of people, after around and found out that that's not what it is that you need to be doing. Okay? So, with that being said, that is another video. And I know probably it's a little cringy, but, you know, I'm just trying to be on point with this whole video thing. And whatever it is I'm called to do and talk about, I'm just going to do it. So, there it is, 9 people that just out here in this world that I just don't get. Message to y'all, look, just be yourself. Whatever knowledge you got, actually follow it, actually apply it to your life. Think about the decisions you made and just try to do better. But I know I'm just asking for too much right there because you're just going to do what you want to do. But anyway, hope everybody's well. And with that being said, peace out, and I'll see you on the next one.